Susan Alvarez, and I'm an RN here in the Pediatric Oncology Clinic. Yes, because Providence is the only children's hospital in El Paso. There is a shortage of doctors and nurses. The population here is growing, so we're getting more and more patients that are sick. The goal right now for this hospital is to recruit more doctors so that the patient load won't be as much for the current physicians that are here. The nurses here are very good, very experienced. They've been oncology, hematology nurses for a very long time. So, they're used to this patient load. But yes, I've worked in other areas or other places. In Philadelphia I worked, and there they had a good nurse-patient ratio where there was, so many doctors, maybe 5 to 6 doctors, and then you have like 13 nurses that take care of the patients. So, the day was more comfortable, more time spent with each of the patients. We have a physician who still sees patients into the evening hours, so we can be here until midnight or 1 in the morning.
About once every week on Mondays. Usually when I go there, I usually have to wait about 2 to 3 hours to be seen by the nursing staff, and that's just to get my blood drawn. The reason why I think that the wait is usually from when I walk in to when I actually get my blood drawn, which is about 2 hours, is because of the fact that there's also about 10 to 15 patients ahead of me that are also waiting, and as far as the nurses, there's only about 5 or 6 that are usually there at the clinic. So that's why I think that it takes so long to get seen by a nurse. I head over to the doctors, I sign in at the front desk, and I go up to a separate room, a waiting room, and I wait for my name to be called, which usually takes anywhere from 15 minutes to 2 hours, depending on how bad it is that day. After I get my blood drawn, which usually takes about 15 minutes, the nurses, they let me go for the day. But that's not the end of it. I get put on another waiting list to see the actual doctor, Dr. Carpenter. That is usually what takes the longest. I'm usually done seeing the nurses, having my blood drawn by 12:30, 1 o'clock, and I don't see the doctor usually until I usually wouldn't see him until about 11 o'clock at night, so that's about a 10-hour waiting period. And the reason for that is because, well, the doctor, he sees all of his patients, and patients that have procedures like spinal taps or any other kind of medical procedures, they get bumped up to the top of the list, and it's usually first come, first served as to who gets to see the doctor. So I usually get bumped back and end up being usually the last patient to be seen. So I kind of have the knowledge of like how long it takes for him to go through an entire day of seeing patients. So he doesn't usually finish until 1 o'clock in the morning. I've actually stayed that late before just to see him. As far as the clinic being understaffed, I do believe that there could be more people help. There's only one doctor that sees his patients, Dr. Carpenter, and usually at the bottom of the list, which I'm usually at, it's usually number 26 or 27, as in number of patients he has to see before he gets to me. So one doctor seeing 27 patients in the course of one afternoon. Yes, I do believe that the clinic is understaffed as far as doctors are concerned.
But what this country really needs right now is a doctor.
Open your eyes, I see. Your eyes are open. Wear no disguise.
There are currently 2 pediatric oncologists at Sierra Providence Memorial Hospital that deal with hematology and oncology patients. But the previously stated patient load was only per doctor. Further interviews with the nursing staff revealed that only 2 to 3 of the said number of nurses actually deals with patients for each specific doctor. So on any given clinic day, one nurse can see up to 20 patients per nurse. And this doesn't account for, some nurses swapping over to another doctor's side to help with the patient load. Around March 2011, 2 medical assistants were assigned to the pediatric oncology clinic to help alleviate with the time for patients waiting to see the doctor. This is shortened clinic hours from an estimated 5 to 6 hours after being initially seen by a nurse to 3 to 4. This means that instead of leaving the last patient around 1 o'clock in the morning of that said patient clinic day, they actually get a chance to leave before 10.
Hold back the tide, I see.